Welcome back to Spotlight as we turn our attention to the digital divide in Detroit and two individuals that are trying to do a lot about it, and introduce Vittoria Katanski, and she is Executive Director of Connect 313, and Dr. Naimah Wade, Director of Research and Learning for Connect 313. Welcome to Spotlight.
Hi, thank you.
You've got a big Detroit Digital Inclusion Week. What is that, and why should people care? Either one of you.
Well, Digital Inclusion Week is going to be the first week of October, and the purpose of the event is to kind of educate people on what actually is the digital divide, and bring politicians and policymakers and community members together to have a discussion about what it means to them individually and what things are happening to try to bridge the divide.
And it's from October 2nd through the 6th.
It's a panel discussion on October 2nd, and it will be at Wayne State University. And then the following days are on our website, but they're community building days that are all over Detroit with our partners and with just some of our supporters that will be offering events.
Sure. Dr. Wade, your Ph.D. is from an academic setting. So how does this play into all of this and the research that you're doing on this very important issue?
My research really is focused on optimizing learning experiences both online and in the classroom, but those opportunities are not available if you don't have devices and high quality internet in order to access them. And so my work is to support Connect 313's team, but also to make and curate opportunities for community to convene, to learn, to share, to grow about the importance of the digital opportunities that are in the world around us.
So how does Detroit rank? Are we doing a good job, or do we have far too many people that are not connected to the internet?
So there's a lot of numbers out there. Approximately 32% of Detroiters only have a smartphone device, right?
No computer.
As we know,
no desktop computer.
Right. The interaction and the experience with applications, with banking, with everything. Coursework.
Everybody wants you to go to their website.
That's correct. And so we know that the experience is not quite the same from a smartphone as it is, from a workstation. And so in Detroit, we are leading the country with the American Connectivity Program, with signups for that program.
That's federal money that was issued, I guess, during the pandemic.
Correct, to ensure that residents had the resources they needed to pay for high-speed internet and receive some benefits also for a device. And so we are leading the country in the number of people who are signed up. There's still a large majority of people who can qualify for that program in Detroit who still have not. And so we still have some work to do, but the country is looking at us for the impact, the progress, and the way we've developed the Connect 313 Coalition to be able to activate in our city.
The majority of our money comes through the Rocket Mortgage Classic, which is the golf event that happens in the summertime. And it's unique in the way that it's one of the only golf events that actually contributes money back to the community. So,
and they make that a major point throughout the entire golf tournament, leading up to it, through
Absolutely.
it, afterwards, showing the amount of money that they've collected.
Yeah, and so that's been really helpful. And we try to the coalition makes decisions together. So, just trying to we get data from the city. We try to work with our business partners to bring in more support and money so that we can do the programming. And it also highlights, I think the important part of the partnership for me is it highlights the different roles that each person plays in making that divide smaller.
Okay.
I think what's powerful about the public-private coalition is that we value being expertly led, but locally informed. So our structure really positions community members to help make decisions about how the funds that we have raised for Connect 313 are distributed into the community. So one of the ways we've done that is we've launched 18 tech hubs across the city where community members can access computers, get support, training, apply for jobs and things that help to not just increase their access, but also advance their economic mobility.
Okay, I need to take a quick little pause for the calls. When we come back, I want to talk about, this is for Detroit, but say I don't live in Detroit, why should I care? And we'll have you address that right after this. Ms. Katanski, say I live in Novi or I live in Grosse Pointe. Why should I care about this issue if it doesn't directly affect me, or does it indirectly affect this because we're all connected as a region?
Yeah, as a region, I mean, everybody should be focused on this digital divide. It's becoming a human right to be able to access your health care, to be able to pay your mortgages, your leases, your bills, to pay the state for your, or the city for your taxes, and all of those things are incredibly important.
Or if you're a business in the suburbs, you're looking for employees.
Absolutely.
And somebody is in Detroit, they live in Detroit, but they might be a potential worker for you. But if they can't connect to your website
Absolutely.
But as the largest state in the region, or the largest city in the region, I mean, what our economic stability is will impact the rest of the surrounding area and the state as a whole. Everybody comes to Detroit for dinner or a good time, and it all matters at their experience coming into the city, and also, like you said, with workers and going out to their jobs in the suburbs.
Yeah. Are you getting inquiries from other major urban areas across the country, if I can spit it out, because Detroit is doing such a good job with this, to say, how can we duplicate what you're doing in Detroit?
So we partner and participate with NDIA, which is the National Digital National Digital Inclusion Alliance.
Okay, that's a mouthful.
Right. And so often folks from our team are asked to come and participate and present at that annual conference. And we do a lot of collaborating and knowledge sharing with other major cities, cities in Pennsylvania, cities in Texas, who are also really leading the work across the country.
The ACP money, that was a nice shot in the arm that came out of the pandemic, and along with all the other money that flooded into cities during the pandemic. We're now out of that heavy period. Not to say that COVID's gone away, but certainly we're not in the pandemic mode. Is there a chance that money will dry up? Or is that one of those things that depends on administrations?
It is slated to end in 2024. However, according to our research, it is an important issue on both sides of the aisle because, as we know, the world is increasingly digital. And so this has to be a priority, or we will lose a lot of ground and we'll lose a lot of engagement from residents and community members, not just here, but across the country.
You've got this big digital week coming up, the 2nd through the 6th of October. Is it too late for people to register?
Absolutely not. Registration's up on a link from our website, which is connect313.org, and we're accepting registrations.
And it has all the information there,
Absolutely.
the different panels, people who
You can
will be
either,
speakers.
Yeah, you can register for the entire day and be there for all 4 panels, or you can register for individual panels that you're just interested in.
And anyone who cares about digital access and inclusion should be in the room. We've worked really hard to make sure that the panels are not just high up decision makers, but corporate, nonprofit, community, academic, thought partners and leaders all in the room for knowledge sharing and really for advancing inclusion for all.
Okay, Dr. Wade, Ms. Katanski, thank you so much for joining us today in Spotlight.
Thank you, Chuck, for having us.
And we'll keep track of what you're doing.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right, and best of luck at the conference. All right, and I'm Chuck Stokes. We'll be back next week with more newsmakers in the Spotlight. We hope you have a great week.